So I'm going to take apart this old busted Altigen IP720, since I doubt anyone has actually showed inside of one of these things online. Great little phone system, been very handy because it's basically Windows GUI based, so if you have a SMB, SME phone system and you don't want to be memorizing a bunch of obscure commands like we did back in the Nortel days, just point and click. Go on a GUI and then, modify whatever options you need on the extension, and you're good to go. It's a very powerful phone system, been very good. But these line sets, I have noticed one thing. Now, Altigen has the primary desktop line set, used to be the 710. The 710 looked the exact same as the 720 for the most part. A little bit different, beveled on the edge, but basically the exact same device. The major difference from a technological standpoint being that the old 710s used to use these. These little PoE power bricks were an optional add-on accessory, which was handy because they do fry out. I assume it's just a voltage regulator, but basically it takes your voltage from the 48 volt PoE and converts it down to 5 volt for the phone's power supply. And you just pop that sucker on the back, and it used to work real well. Well, some genius engineer with the 720 said, we'll just use a built-in PoE power adapter and include it with every phone. Great. When I bought these, I thought, that's excellent. Well, unfortunately, the damn PoE power supplies on these stupid things go out. Well, there's not a whole lot you can do when that happens, and I've already unscrewed this chassis since I didn't feel like undoing it. And by the way, if you need to do this one screw hidden under a rubber foot, which I always love when a manufacturer does that randomly. So we'll just lift that right off. All right, see how easily we're in. Now, you can actually see, what do we have here? Even though it's not technically a user maintenance part, it is, oh my god, if I can lift it off, that's the daughter board. That's the PoE daughter board for this device. And I've been wondering if there's a clone of this as another manufacturer, like as if this isn't Altigen's hardware, but instead they're licensing it from someone else, because that would make more sense that they didn't go and pull that switch off. They didn't go and like roll their own hardware. It makes sense that they bought someone else's design. I mean, this is like Rev 10, and it says HP 270. So it's surely not Hewlett Packard, but I don't know who the manufacturer is, and I guess I'll get a close look at all the ICs on here. It looks like I've got Windbound. It's a W986-4G2IH-6 MX T100144. This TMS chip I've had trouble identifying, and apparently it's a TI chip, I guess, from what I can read, but it's a TMS 320 VC5472ZHK, and up here we got a little lattice semiconductor, and then of course a nice big Realtek chip down here. Now this phone is gigabit too. I suppose that's one more difference to mention on this device versus the 710. The 710 was 10100. The 720 is gigabit and gigabit on the through port as well. With newer firmware, both the 710 and the 720 will support VLAN binding, so you can have phone system on VLAN 1 coming in. Your incoming port, and your outcoming port can be set as a port-based VLAN. Basically, it'll output, it'll translate tag traffic into port-based traffic. And then, of course, you can see, though, this was the little deal I was talking about. So they tell you this isn't replaceable, but it is. The problem is I actually haven't had one die where I've had one of these extra ones sitting around, so I guess I'll try to swap it out and see if it lets the factory smoke out. But yeah, they do have a PoE board. It just is underneath the plastic, and that's the only way to get to it. So this is inside of a 720. I guess I could show you. I mean, I'm not going to, but this board below with the little daughter board is just where the keys interface, and it has a bunch of plastic membranes and LEDs. But the real work is happening on this side of the board. The USB, that's a weird Plantronics PSB, which I've never had a use for. So I don't know what in the high heavens that's actually useful for, because I've never used Plantronics crap. And of course you've got the headphone output, or headset output, and then the handset output for the handset. But that's that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, not a whole lot going on here. Of course, you can see all the PoE work is done by that one little daughter card there, and then the rest is all processing for the IP traffic. Anyhow, hope you all enjoy.